And as you listen to the vibrations, it begins to take you on a journey a long, long time ago, remembering, connecting. I want you to see yourself back in time in that place called Castle Hill. How does this place look right now where you are?
It's a river of light.
There's a river of light.
Mm-hmm. They showed it to me yesterday.
Can you describe this river of light for me?
It's coming from the multiverse. And it comes through the Milky Way as part of the portal. And on it are enormous beings of light, cloaked, crystalline of structure, clear to be seen as pure vessels carrying the codes from all the multiverses.
Mm-hmm. Take a deep breath in and connect even more now, releasing that tension. Mm-hmm.
It is the seeding of this new earth domain. And so the crystalline structures came from each galaxy. This is why we showed this one. All the galaxies the other night. And we said hello, for we wished for a reuniting.
Mm-hmm.
And she was above, and our spiral was below. And so we plucked the crystalline vessels, one from each of the galaxies. We put them on the river of light, through the Milky Way, through the portal, with their light sabers, their ankhs, the keys that were encoded in them, from us, the lineage, and landed in Castle Hill, each in their own vessel. We showed this one, the vessels, as they arrived on this new domain in this particular area. For in this particular area, there is a vortex that connects the celestial with the terrestrial through what you term Middle Earth, Inner Earth. This one, 10 years ago, locked the terrestrial with the celestial in her heart. For the work ahead had to be a heart path. Alba, we have spoken of this before, but humanity has veered off the path of the heart. There has been a discord. And as our beloveds were sent in their vehicles, they embedded the ancient codes through the earth, into the air, And as that river of light from all the galaxies collected through the vortex, it spread throughout your earth plane. And while this one was waiting for the session, she kept on hearing the serpent god.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Couldn't understand what the serpent god was. And then she remembered in Lima, she was told, the serpent is rising, the serpent is rising, the serpent has risen. And Christina had that emblem tattooed on her finger that day of the rising of the serpent god. And as we told this one, that ancient energy that comes as the serpent across your earth plane every 13,000 years, as it weaves its way around the earth and settles in one place. And as it was in the Indian area, it has now gone into the South American area. But this is not enough.
Mm-hmm. Why is this not enough?
For the invasion, Alba. For invasion is imminent. We are holding the protection in all areas. We are keeping the trapdoors protected. But there is the rogue element hammering at the door. So that serpent that is supposed to be dormant for 13,000 years in that area needs to expand and grow and stretch right around the earth. For Gaia needs to ascend. For ascension is imminent. Now, Alba, these women, this collective is here once again. These that are seated here today were part of the shining ones, those crystalline structures that came through to embed the codes, along with the ancient cloaked ones. They worked in conjunction with each other, putting in the pillars of light. They went to Castle Hill, some yesterday, some today, and then collectively today. For they were reigniting the codes that they planted many, many, many eons ago. For they knew the times, the turbulent times were coming. So they saw through their hologram, through the wise one that this one saw yesterday, with the eyes covered with the white gristle.
Mm-hmm.
For we said one does not see through these eyes, but through the internal eye. She was there all that time ago. She was the wise one. She saw through the dimensions of space and time that this timeline now needed this collective to go back and put the codes back where they needed to be and unlock them to help with ascension. For these beings that are here today are and were part of the beings at that time.
So by coming together now, they all felt different things. What was it that they were experiencing while they were walking through here? What was the vibration they were feeling?
This is a remembrance of time,
Mm-hmm.
a remembrance of being part of each other's vibrational frequency. For the frequencies in this current timeline are denser. But in those years, those early years, in the 7th year of creation, there was a purity, there was no disconnection. But not all in the universe had the purity that was on this current domain. And so there were powers in another galaxy that needed to feed off the light of those crystalline beings that came to this area for their creations on their planets were of a rigid control and didn't have the freedom that these beings chose to inhabit. So there was an invasion. And there's a story in your human Bible about Lot's wife who turned, and she became a pillar of salt, immovable. And so it was with these beings. These beings refused to give their light to the dark side, to those vibrations. So they sealed themselves in.
All right. So it wasn't done to them, they've done it themselves.
Well, it was done to them and they did it to themselves.
Okay.
Or they made themselves immovable so that the light would not be taken until their family lineage came back for them to unlock the codes. And the reason they need to be released now is because it is now time for ascension, for their power will help with ascension, for they hold incredible vibrational frequencies, as do each and every woman in this group this day.
Very good. Now, some things happened while these women were there. Michelle began to chant, and some language came through. What was she connecting to when she was chanting?
To the line. She was calling on the line through the river of light to connect all the galaxies through the portal, through the Middle Earth, back again. It is an ancient song held within the heart of that line. And so it is a line like a chain that we've spoken before, links on a chain.
Yes.
So it is the vibrational tone that gets held in each link and comes together as music. For Michelle holds the music in her heart space.
Mm-hmm.
And she was releasing the final tone of purity. And that is why in this earth time line, she has what is termed the sight, for she is able to connect to all the beings in all the lineages. And so she is the tone master.
Wonderful. But something else happened. I know that when I was watching the videos and seeing the pictures that Jill was showing, I felt my throat chakra closing, and Josh felt an experience where she could not speak. It was almost like her throat chakra had closed. What was the experience of that she was receiving at that time? What was keeping her from speaking?
Josh was doing a jumping of a timeline, for she is a warrior queen. She stood out of her protection for the group to cut through and release the energy for when they all chose to encapsulate within themselves. Joss tried to extend a hand of friendship to the others that wished to take this group's light, and they struck her down.
What was the reason for having her struck down? Who struck her down?
The corruption, the malfunction, the lust, the greed, the power that we, her queenly consorts and sisters of light, drew her back, put her in her vessel, and the scar that took her throat, we collectively gave it light. But last night she jumped ship. She
What does
jumped
that mean?
the space of time, and she went back to that time when she jumped out to hand the friendship to back in to be encapsulated. So she was dancing between the loss and getting back to where she needed to be. For she is of such strength that she put herself up as a protective shield for the group, for she had such heart space that she truly believed, being such a crystalline structure, that her purity and her light would be reflected on those dark beings. And she was correct, for they retreated.
Where did they retreat to?
Exelion.
What is Exelion?
Exelion is the area in the outer galaxy. They have been banished.
They've been banished.
They do not have the interaction and the camaraderie and the feeling and the connection that so many of us have in the multiverses. So we watch them with this one and Jesus and the disciples and the archangels sitting on the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And we have many beings in this room today that sit with this one on that council in subcategories. And as this one has a connection with you, Alba, and the Rainbow Warriors, so she has another connection with this lot. Because did we not say before, it is realms within realms,
Yes.
clusters within clusters, and this is but one of her other clusters.
So, what can all of these women, these very powerful women, be doing now to assist with what's going on Castle Hill and other places?
There is a portion of these women that are collected in one particular area called Nelson. It is a warm area, and warmth makes things spread like butter in a pan.
Mm-hmm.
It is a holiday area. People need to take a break. Those that live in this area need to do what is termed a collaboration and bring people from around New Zealand to that area. There is a new person that is a very old person, but a new person that has recently moved to this area that this one calls Bex.
Mm-hmm.
It was saying today that she wasn't quite sure what it was at the work that she would be doing. But she is a connector like this one. And she will be connecting many, for she has lived in many areas. And she will be bringing those from the areas where she has lived, those connections into this area. And she and others will be leading expeditions to Castle Hill.
Very good. So, why is it that these beings cannot choose not to release themselves?
For they were waiting for this timeline, for this is the time of ascension.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when their frequencies needed to be released because their frequencies were too strong for the denser earth that was here before. But we are now reaching a tipping point specifically for ascension. For these earthlings that are on this earth domain at this time have specifically come to assist Gaia to ascend. So their release could not be until this time, for their energies would have been too strong for the earthlings to deal with.
Mm.
But they are a very big part in lifting the vibrational frequency for ascension.
Are there any other places on Earth in which these beings landed, or is it just in this place, Castle Hill?
No, they landed in many areas. This
Mm-hmm.
one recently put a video on of a human called Freddie Silver when he did the ley lines.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody listening to this, Alba, if you would please put this on your platform, they need to study the ley lines, for there's much release that needs to take place. And those beings that are living in the ley lines need to hold a communion as this group did at this time, walk in silence, have a holy communion with Source, from Source through the source that they are to the source that is embedded in those areas holding those frequencies. As this one activated in Peru, as did you, Alba, when these beings go to these ley line areas where these beings originated from in this godlike structure, then each light will be lit on that ley line, and that will be opening a portal in each area, and it is an activation. And this will be like starting Gaia's motor.
Mm. Okay.
She will start humming.
All right. So one of the things that happened also at Castle Hill was Allie felt a rock swaying like a boat under her. I'd like for you to just take that moment, a slice of time, and just watch what was happening and tell me what was happening underneath Jill as this rock was swaying.
So Ellie was in her area, in a different area to Jill. And Ellie was being the conductor. She was starting the orchestra.
Mm.
And when people start hearing the music, it is a natural reaction to start swaying. So she was starting the motion, and the song began.
So, as she was swaying, was the rock swaying also?
No, it was not.
Okay. Okay. Tell me about initiation rock. Jill came up with that in her mind. What is initiation rock?
So the initiation were for the generations that came afterwards to be embedded in the light code so they could carry it through generation to generation. And the initiation was on that rock by the wise women of the tribe, letting that individual know who they were, what they were, and why they were. And as this one now speaks about the why and the what and the who, she was the original shining ones.
Mm-hmm.
She came down through the river of light, and she was the initiator of the initiation rock.
Mm-hmm.
And for she brought that rock with her, and she placed it into the earth. And that is why when she lay on it yesterday, she had a reconnection. For whoever now comes to Castle Hill and sits on the initiation rock, they will be activated.
Wonderful. What happened to her in that lifetime when she brought that rock?
She came from the council
Mm-hmm.
in a prism of light. And today, we arrived for her as a double rainbow. For she holds all the colors of the rainbow, and we have told her this before we came to salute her. And all those fractals, for in this room, Alba, we have the blues and the greens and the indigos and the purples, all the different hues. But she holds the rainbow bridge. And when we were in Peru, we showed her that the rainbow actually is a full circle, for it travels through Middle Earth.
Beautiful.
And it is continual. So that light that came through her came through as a white beam, which holds all the colors. And she pushed the color into this earth plane, and she spread it through all its tributaries with all its harmonics, and there was a convergence.
So, what is the purpose of her now, once again, coming back with all of this knowledge now?
She's a connector.
Okay.
She needs to connect. There are many that she's seen in this group already, where she can see that they are not reaching their potential. And she will connect them with each other and with others, for they have incredible strengths. Many of them are playing the hide in the shadow game, the not look at me game, and it is time for them to stand in their light. And as she is a light encoder, she has also come to be the generator. For if they are on 60%, she will show them how to get their next 40%. For when they are all generating, it'll be like a ripple. In this group, this is an equal group. There's not one above the other, one to the back, one to the front, but side by side, solid links on a chain. In the troubled times ahead, Alba, we told this one that these are now gathering to support each other for when they do their work, which is the work that they have come in this particular mission to complete. They will find their batteries running a little low. Now we have given them many fingers to reach out to each other, for many were feeling alienated or alone. But now they have found each other. It is a sisterhood.
Wonderful.
And there is a solid understanding within this group that when they see one slightly veering off the path, they will lovingly bring them in.
Good. So talking about fingers, Jill saw something that looked like an indentation of a giant's footprint. Were there giants here before on this earth?
These rocks
Mm-hmm.
that you see are the giants.
Mm-hmm.
These are their sizes. The footprint that she saw was one of our babies. It was a baby footprint. We took her to that footprint, for this one is a non-believer. She doubts herself, as you know, Alba.
Yes.
And she always looks for the physical. We left our fingerprint for her to find.
Mm-hmm.
And then we left our footprint to say, we are here.
Mm-hmm. Very good. There's also some rock art that she saw. And that one looked very, that's the fingerprint?
It is the fingerprint of the gods.
Okay. So what happens when you see that fingerprint? What are you supposed to be thinking about when you see that?
The beauty.
Mm.
The beauty encapsulated. It is your imprint of who you are. There are none that are the same. There are no frequencies that are the same. All the photonic structures that come down in their parcels, through being fused with the sound and the light and the frequency, becomes the form. There are no two forms alike. As a fingerprint, so is it as a frequency. It is your tone. You are recognized by your tone.
Okay, thank you. I have more questions about giants because I've been following a YouTube channel, Mud Fossil University, which talks about all of these huge structures around the earth being giants. And you talked about Lot's wife being turned into a pillar. What happened on Earth? What was this invasion all about that would have taken all of these beings on earth and turned them into stone. Can you talk about that?
As you say, this one remembers flying from Wanaka to Christchurch in a light aeroplane. Sorry, the reverse, Christchurch to Wanaka. And as she looked out, she saw an entire mountain, and the whole of the top of the mountain was a being, and each one was an indigenous being, from the African to the Indian to the Maori. Beautiful structures lying in the mountains. And these are what you term sleeping giants.
Mm-hmm.
But Alba, they have chosen to slumber. But soon the slumbering will end and they will be waking. For this is the time to be awake. Did we not say the Great Awakening?
Mm-hmm.
And yet this one, and you didn't understand that fully. You thought that this awakening was just for mankind. But everything that you see with your human eye has vibration, be it sand, be it stone, be it sky, be it sunlight, clouds, wind, mountains. And did we not say that the mountains are the transmitters and the receivers for humanity?
Mm-hmm.
So these sleeping giants are transmitting their systems, their wisdom, and their light to those that connect with them. But soon they will awaken. The plate tectonics will begin to move. And so there will be eruptions, there will be earth changes. But as we said before, this is not a time for fear, for this is but one adventure of one lifetime. You have come here for a mission to assist Gaia to ascend. And as you assist her, so she assists you. These are our finest. These are our star pupils. Please know that when you see the quiet ones sitting in the corners, being a mother, being a post office worker, being a horse rider, being an electrician, nothing that you feel grand, which is judged on human scale. They are our light toners. They are holding the light. None is less, none is more. All are part of the grand puzzle of this particular earth plane. The chess pieces are in place. The moves are being made. The pawns, the queens. When will it be? Check, mate.
Okay. You've given us information that filled a whole book on how to prepare for this. And I don't think we're ever prepared.
Alba, we speak and we speak and we speak, but you hear us not.
I'm just saying what everybody else is saying.
There is but one. There is but one moment. There is but one time in one moment. And this is a moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
How do you wish to embrace it? Do you wish for contraction, or do you wish for expansion? Why did you incarnate? Why did you choose to live? Once again, why are you living? What are you living for? And who are you living for? You come to live for self, you come to appease self, and you come for expansion, for the all that is. For you are the all that is. This is what humanity finds hard to embrace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we say, to thine own self be true, not selves, for you are living in this one self, although you are connected to many selves as your oversoul. But we do not wish for you to concern yourself with that. Just own yourself, joy. Be the joy germ. Be the light bubble, rise above. When you do not rise above and you come from a base, then you are living in the basement. We want penthouse moments. Everyone owns a penthouse. Why do they choose to live in the basement? So they are so worried about what this one's doing, what that one's doing. Why? Why waste your time worrying about how you are doing, what step you are on? Oh, look at that one. That one's on step 3. I think I'm on step 5. Ooh. No, just own yourself. That one that's on step 3 through your eyes was on step 50,000 million. So what do you want to say about that? Stop the judgment. Stop the judgment of self. We want to embrace the value of self. This is now the time to expand and be all that you can be. This is a time for your light, for you are light travelers. You are traveling as a beam of light through space-time continuum. We have said this before. Why do you insist on carrying 30 kilos in the undercarriage when you can just carry the credit card? Very light. Travel lightly. Buy what you need when you need it. That buys time. Take your 7 kilos in your overhead locker and move quickly and lightly. This is not a time for possessions. What do you wish to possess? Do you really wish to be possessed? For the more that you possess, the more you are possessed.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to be free. This is the time for freedom. Alba, people need to look back at the discourse. I am what? 30 kilos. Or did it say I am freedom?
Mm-hmm.
And they need to go back and they need to speak about being. I am a being of light. I have nothing to fear because I am.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. I knew I could poke you and make you say all that again. So let me ask you something. Is there a message for the women in the room today?
There are many messages, Alba. But the main message that we wanted was of love.
Mm-hmm.
It is time for them to start loving themselves. For without the self-love, they can't love another. Many think it is selfish to spend attention on self. But loving oneself is about expansion. And we wish for this to be a time for expansion. And this group is now filling the holes that many had, the empty holes in the heart that needed to be topped up. You know, you all charge your cell phones. Oh, don't let the battery fall flat. Oh, no connection. But the connection is within. So we wish these women to connect within themselves, charge themselves up. As they charge those cell phones daily, we wish for them to ask themselves what they are doing to fill themselves up. And we'd like to ask your audience today, Alba, as you put this on your platform, for many need to fill themselves up. How are they charging themselves? Do they feel they need to run somebody else's battery down in order to run their battery up? This leaves both with a flat battery. Fill yourself up, joy, just own yourself, do the things that bring you joy. This group is going to be very joyful. They're going to connect with each other because of the frequencies and the vibrations. The blues and the greens will get together. The purples and the reds will get together. This is a natural alignment. It doesn't mean that they are not accepted within this group, and this little group is not accepted within that group. There will always be little niggles amongst others as they find their way, as they fluff their little feathers. But that's okay, because this group has had much love over many lifetimes. They will settle. You know, one or two still need to find their voice, and that's okay. They're fledglings, like your little eaglets. They're little fledglings. And when they feel the need to tell another something, it just means that there's a slight little emptiness within themselves. So if any in this group feel the need to tell another to be a certain way, there's no way to be. Just own yourself. We love you. Be at peace. So be it.
Thank you. Who have we've been speaking with today?
You're speaking with fractals amongst fractals amongst fractals. You are speaking with the elders through each of the circle. They have come through the tone of Michelle.
Wonderful.
You set the tone. They all heard their ancestral lineage speaking through Michelle last night. These are not my words. These are their collective words.
Beautiful. So on behalf of all of us watching, I'd like to thank you for communicating all of this information. Thanking Michelle for opening that up for us. And thanking Jill. Is there anything else, or do we feel complete?
Alba, all these women are going to be with you. There is going to be a healing of the hearts through tonal frequencies in the future. Well, this is a very strong vibration. And we've spoken before of the mothership. There was a mothership yesterday. This one saw it. Others saw it. It came cloaked. But they were watching. They are celebrating. and they are saying cheers. They're raising their glasses, as many of these women will be raising glasses tonight. So, Alba, we would like to raise a toast collectively to you for allowing this message and this release of our brothers and sisters encapsulated for so many years in these stone formations throughout the ley lines. But they are now being opened. The heart essence is being released. And Alba, we thank you for the service.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to raise not only my glass, but my tuning fork.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was big. You must be exhausted.
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. And I'm wearing the rock.
Yes, you've got the greenstone.
I've got the green stone representing the Maori people.
All of the rocks.
All of the rocks. Castle Hill behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel, Jill?
Well, that wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but it actually makes sense.
So just so that the audience can understand the group of women who are here, if you or someone else would like to do a slow pan of the room so that they could all say hello, just wave to the camera. And then we'll finish off with you.
Thanks, Alba. Okay, here we go around the room. Can you see each other?
Alba. Hi, Alba.
No.
Thank you.
A lot of beautiful energy. So, Jill, oops, that was great.
Yep. Thank you so much.
And while you're still there, what you think what we should call this, Castle Hill?
Absolutely. Well, Martine's got something that's called Earth Queen Conversations. What?
Earth Queen's Conversations.
Earth Queen's Conversations.
Earth Queen Conversations. And that's how everyone sort of came together. And people are welcome to join my Facebook group if they want. Connect with everyone else.
And it's called wonderful. Earth Queen Conversations. Queens of the Castle. Queens of Castle Hill.
Did you think of that? I thought of that ages ago. Of course.
So now I understand when they said I'm going to write the book and they said, are you the queen of your life or just a princess? We are the queens.
All right. So thank you all for watching. And the discourse continues, obviously, in different forms. And this was a totally different, unexpected session. Look up Castle Hill in New Zealand, and you could see the beautiful pictures that they're there. And I'll catch you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.